What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel, to all of my returning subscribers. But if this is your first time coming across me today, here we use information from celestial bodies to help us gain a better understanding of our favorite celebrities, world events, but most importantly, our damn selves. So without further ado, go ahead and hit the subscribe button to become a part of the Astro fam. So today I'm coming to y'all with an analysis of sorts, okay? A theory, an astrology theory. And this is a theory that I have just kind of been thinking to myself or fleshing out myself after making a couple of observations that linked both Nicki Minaj and Beyonce. So unless you've been hiding under a rock somewhere, the Grammys happened, okay? That was a thing. And just like typical, Grammy fashion, is like clockwork. Every time it's Grammy season, you get people online, celebrities and stan bases alike, arguing about the unfairness of the Grammys and the Grammys selection when it comes to the awarded artists and blah, 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 right? And it's nothing new. This has been happening since the 80s, even since the inception of the Grammys, in terms of Black artists, urban artists, rappers, R&B artists feeling cheated when it comes to being given a fair shot at being awarded and recognized by the Grammy and the Academy, whatever it's called, whatever Academy, okay? However, this go round, some cases that stood out would be Beyonce and Nicki Minaj. So on one hand, you have Beyonce, who has never won the Album of the Year award, although it has received probably the most Grammys in history, as a Black woman, right? Highly decorated when it comes to winning other categories. But according to Jay-Z, and probably her too, she's just not going to say it out loud, they feel, as a lot of people feel, like she is deserving of the Album of the Year award. This year, it would be for her project Renaissance. But even in the past, like Lemonade and other projects, people feel like should have won that award, right? That category. And so this year, she didn't win it, and Jay-Z got on stage to accept, I guess, an award. I didn't watch the full award show, but I did see the clip where he was basically doing the Kanye, right? Pulling a more politically correct Kanye speech just by saying that, hey, I'm going to let you finish. I know this girl who won this category. That's cute. That's fine. Or whoever won this category, that's fine. That's cute. However, I don't understand how you can give this person all of these Grammys and they still not win, Album of the Year. And on the other hand, you have Nicki Minaj and the Barbs, who, that whole portion of Twitter went into flames after basically, I think the Grammys they incorrectly announced Nicki as being the winner for I think it was the song that she had with Ice Spice. I don't know what the category was, but it was they said that she was the winner on some Steve Harvey pageant type shit. She's the winner, and it was posted online and on different websites, and then they went back and recanted that and said it was a mistake. And then I think they ended up giving the award to Killer Mike. Random as hell. Turn on that Killer Mike. I ain't never heard nobody say that before, and I'm from Atlanta, so but I digress. So Nicki Minaj does have a history of being blackballed by the Academy and different people, at the Grammys after pissing them off, I think back in 2010 or 11, by doing a performance that I think the director at the time did not approve of. And it was just a lot of politics and background stuff and that Nicki, I'm assuming, would not adhere to. And so they just kind of collectively decided to withhold any type of awards, any type of recognition from Nicki, even despite the fact that, she's Nicki Minaj, You can feel however you want to feel about her, and I see a lot of people making arguments about her character. I never said she was a great person. I never said she was a good person, but we all know that the awards is not, these things are not necessarily indicative of talent. You have legendary acts, people who've left indentations on music and society for decades and decades and decades who did not receive a Grammy. Tupac being one, right? Bob Marley being another one. Snoop Dogg being another one. So, it is what it is. However, what these two women have in common astrologically is that they both share the same lunar nodal axis. And I really like to harp on the lunar nodes just because they can be very helpful in understanding what the big picture is in regards to our lives, what we need to be doing, where we need to progress towards, I guess you could say, areas we need to improve in versus the things that keep us held back, honestly. And so a major manifestation of Capricorn on the South Node is limited fulfillment in professional endeavors, which can be kind of ironic because a lot of Capricorn South Nodes spend the earlier years of their lives being either workaholics, people who are very committed to achieving and amassing a lot of success. And for what it's worth, a lot of these people can be very successful. Some other famous Capricorn South Node celebrities would be Whitney Houston, Wendy Williams, right? Hardworking women, relentless when it comes to just like pursuing like legacy cemented, right? It's not a question as to, what they've been able to accomplish when it comes to their professional lives, right? They tend to make their mark. But in this lifetime, there tends to be the natural predisposition towards neglecting personal matters, personal relationships, which is why a lot of these people, even despite the fact that they may have it all on paper when it comes to like their career and their professional lives, their personal lives can be a hot mess, like their family lives. And Beyonce definitely is no exception to that. Nicki Minaj, that speaks for itself, right? And that's because they're supposed to spend a lot of more time and energy. Not saying they have to abandon their careers, which is a common misinterpretation of Cancer on the North Node, but it would speak more to the fact that whenever they do immerse themselves in things involving work, it needs to be something that's personable to them. So learning how to be okay with not receiving the approval that you feel like you need, whether it be from mainstream society. Nicki Minaj has her Capricorn South Node in the 11th house. This could be her peers, right? Beyonce has her Capricorn South Node in the 4th house. This could be just being okay with not receiving the recognition you feel like you deserve from, ironically enough, your parents or the people around you. Because this is also, in Beyonce's case, very indicative of her coming from a family. By the way, both of her parents are Capricorn. So this is a very karmic, like she could have a past life relationship with her parents to where, they viewed her as a commodity. She was not able to be a child. A lot of Capricorn South Nodes grow up in situations where they be due to poverty, struggle, a lot of those lower nature Capricorn themes. Maybe, being exploited, working too much, having to be adults before their time. They grow up really fast and they tend to be underdeveloped emotionally, which is another reason why motherhood can be such a challenge to them. But in this lifetime, they have to learn how to focus on developing that part of themselves more, the softer parts of themselves, and the parts of themselves that are driven not by status, not by acquisition, not by awards, not by achievement, not by the physical, but by things that are emotionally rewarding. And so I said all of this to say, spending your time bitching about not receiving a Grammy or not being recognized by a certain group of people would be counterproductive and counterintuitive to what would actually be good for both women. Another manifestation of Capricorn on the South Node, just to be objective, would be feelings of depression, also bitterness specifically when these individuals fail to reach certain milestones or certain goals. Capricorn as an archetype can be really hard on itself. So on one hand, yes, you have a lot of Capricorn South nodes who can be extremely successful, but a lot of times they're fueled by, driven by, or pushed by fear. And just to be fair, like, these are people who can be really nasty acting, especially if they have that crabs in a barrel mentality, if they have that scarcity mindset. And, and if we're just going to be fair about clocking that tea, a lot of the girls have accused Nicki Minaj of exuding this behavior, specifically projecting bitterness towards other women or her peers and people in the industry. And to that, I would say with Nicki Minaj's Capricorn South Node in her 11th house, the 11th house can actually deal with your peers as well. But moreover, this placement could suggest, especially with her Mars also being in Capricorn, that as someone who spent a lot of time, tenure, all of this is very Capricorn on the South Node, Mars and Capricorn, right? Time, who's had a lot of longevity and really had to grind and hustle and fight to make their mark in the industry. They can look at other people from an elitist kind of perspective, because that is the flip side of Capricorn in terms of archetype. So feeling like I'm up here, y'all are down there, y'all have not proved yourselves the way in which I have, so you're really beneath me, right? Capricorn can carry a sense of superiority, along with other signs like Leo. Sag is really big for that too. Sag can have the capacity to kind of have an elitist, or I would even liken Sagittarius to more so of a God complex. But I bring this up to point out that despite the difference in public perception between these two women, both Nicki and Beyonce, they still share very much a lot of the same challenges as it pertains to their career and its notoriety, right? And those are very much induced by this Capricorn South Node. In this lifetime, both women have a duty to be more personalized, to be more so committed to the roles that they play within their personal families. So embracing motherhood, giving birth, starting families and new legacies and lineages of their own. All of that is very much a Cancer North Node mission. And with the prioritization of family life, home life, does come this sense of privacy or a need for privacy. So another way to look at this would be a Cancer North Node's desire to be a lot more protective of their family. And Beyonce actually is another really great example of this, because when she's not performing, she does not want anything to do with you niggas, like, at all. She's very, very, very on top of concealing and keeping certain things about her personal life sacred, right? Her personal life as a whole. Most of what we learn about Beyonce, we learn through, her PR. There are more strategic ways that she goes about it, but she likes to maintain that sense of privacy and protection. And as some advice to Nicki Minaj, if I was her astrologer, I would definitely advise her of this in terms of her changing her approach. And this is where, in my personal opinion, the issue with Nicki Minaj comes into play, is because although she has valid grievances with that Cancer North Node, sometimes Cancer North Nodes can even lack the emotional bandwidth, emotional maturity. So, doing whatever you can to protect yourself due to that would be something that you need to do. And it's very evident that Nicki Minaj plays up that portion, right? That portion of individuals with Cancer on the North Node who may struggle with emotional regulation, who may struggle with you know, their emotional maturity and their ability to handle things. So yeah, she needs to be more secluded, more closed off. She doesn't need to be doing all the live streams. She does not need to be making herself as accessible. Everything does not have to be content. Everything does not have to be all about work. You don't have to exploit every part of yourself, which would very much still be that Capricorn South Node conditioning. A lot of Capricorn South Node women will sacrifice their personal relationships, their emotional health and well-being, their whole lives for their career, for a job. And with Cancer on the North Node, this is going to be a critical mistake, because the older you get, the more unfulfilled you will be. And these are people who can wind up lonely. I mean, look at Wendy Williams, another really good example. She is a Capricorn South Node. You know, Tasha K. I mean, the list goes on and on. These are women who we can give them their 10s when it comes to like just what they do. But when it comes to personal issues, their relationships with other people, you know, their even mothering skills at times come into question. These are very tough areas of their lives. They have it all together at work, but that's it. You know, and, you know, everybody has their flaws. It is what it is. We all have our flaws as well as our more redeeming qualities. But this is going to be a major struggle, a major area of challenge. And if you ask me, Nicki Minaj is definitely fighting against it. And I would argue Beyonce too, because if you are so secure in making music and approaching your career the way in which you want to, why do you need further validation? Why do you need an Album of the Year award from the Grammys? Capricorn is all about notoriety. So as a Capricorn South Node, your end all be all should not rest there. With Cancer on the North Node, you would approach your career from the standpoint of, once again, what makes you feel good, what makes you comfortable, what is meaningful and purposeful to you. You know, Cancer North Nodes could also undergo spiritual awakenings of sorts. You know, there could be a desire to reconnect with ancestors and, you know, do ancestral veneration, which is why Beyonce really did her big one. She was very plugged in and tuned in when she did the, the soundtrack, the African kind of visual album, I think was that for The Lion King, if I'm not mistaken. Y'all let me know in the comment section. But, you know, she's been doing that. She did her big one on that one, okay? So with that being said, you know, it's just a lot of different things that could speak to having Capricorn on the South Node. But this definitely, is my theory on why these two women are dealing with what they're dealing with at this moment in time. So y'all drop down in the comment section. Let me know, what do you think of this whole situation? And as it pertains to Capricorn on the South Node, this would even be applicable to those of you with your South Node in the 10th house. So let me know if you have any personal experience with these placements. Do you know someone who does? And what are your observations? And I will catch y'all in the next video. Love you. Bye.